Hello, my dear boys and girls. Welcome to your science class. So, last class we have completed our textual activities of the 13th chapter, that is magnetism. So, we have learned different properties of magnets and also different uses of magnets, isn't it? So, in today's class, we are going to start a new chapter, that is the 15th chapter in your textbook. It is a common topic, that is air around us. So dear children, this is a simple chapter and teacher will summarize this chapter, that is air around us. So we all know there are few basic things which are needed for the existence of living organisms, isn't it? When we learned about the living organisms and their characters, we learned that living organisms can only exist if they have water, if they have food, and also only if they respire, isn't it? They need air, isn't it? Though without food and water, living organisms can exist for few days, isn't it? We have learned the adaptations in camels and all, isn't it? They can store water in their body cells, isn't it? So likewise and all, there are few adaptations on which this living organisms can survive for few days without food and also few days without water. But air is very important. We have learned in the characters of the living organisms, that is, the living organisms breathe, isn't it? They take air and also release air, isn't it? So this air is very important existence of the living organism. Living organism cannot even spend 1 minute without the air, isn't it? So that is the relevance of this chapter, that is air around us. So in this chapter we are going to learn the presence of air around us, the components of air and the balance of air in our atmosphere. So dear children, I am sure all of you may have felt the air around us. Have you felt? Yes, the moving of the air around us is what we call the wind, isn't it? What is this wind, dear children? What is this wind? Wind is the movement of air around us. And also you may have felt the presence of air while using certain toys, pinwheel toys and all. If we move the pinwheel, you can see the pinwheel circulating, rotating, isn't it? That is because of the wind, the presence of the air around us, isn't it? And also in water, air is present. We know various fishes living in the water, various plants living in the water, living with the air inside the water, isn't it? So everywhere air is present. Air is present around us, inside the water as well as inside the soil. We know, we have heard about the microorganism, earthworm, etc., which lives in the soil, isn't it? All these things are possible because the air is present inside all these three states. Now, we have heard about atmosphere, isn't it? What is this atmosphere, dear children? What is this atmosphere? We have heard about atmosphere. What is atmosphere? Yes, we know we all are living on earth, isn't it? And this earth contains a blanket-like surroundings, which surround a blanket of air which surrounds the earth, isn't it? So we have earth. Around the earth, there is a covering of air. That is what we call the atmosphere, isn't it? That is what we call the atmosphere. So atmosphere, it has further coverings, isn't it? The air content is more when it is nearer to the earth, whereas when we move from the earth to the upward or the upward direction, the air becomes less. That is the property of the atmosphere. Now we know various gases are present inside the atmosphere and they are named as the composition of air. They can be considered as the composition of air. Now dear children, can you name the components present inside the air? Yes, we have heard about various gases, isn't it? Which are the various gases present inside the air? Yes, nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, carbon dioxide, Yes, very importantly, water vapor, isn't it? The air has water vapor in it. And also certain dust particles and smoke, isn't it? So these are the components. That means these are the components by which the air is made of, by which the atmospheric air is made of, isn't it?
Atmosphere. We live on the earth and there is a huge layer of air all around the earth. Air forms the earth's atmosphere. The blanket of air that surrounds the earth is called atmosphere. The atmosphere extends to a height of about 1,000 kilometers above the earth's surface. As we go higher up in the atmosphere, the amount of air becomes lesser. We know that the earth exerts a force of pull on everything around it. This force is called gravity. The gravity pulls the layer of air towards the surface of the earth. Composition of air. Water vapor. Air contains water vapor. When it comes in contact with a cool surface, the water vapor of the air condenses. It is the water vapor in the air that rises high in the sky, along with hot air, gets cooled, condenses to form clouds, and brings rain on the earth. Oxygen. All living organisms need oxygen for breathing. In places where oxygen is not sufficient, people use oxygen cylinders for breathing. For example, a mountaineer climbing a high mountain and a diver going into the deep sea use oxygen cylinders. Patients with breathing problems and patients in hospitals are also given extra oxygen from oxygen cylinders. The oxygen in the air is also necessary for burning. Nitrogen. We have just learnt that about 4/5 part of air around us by volume is nitrogen. Nitrogen neither burns itself nor supports the process of burning. Hence, it controls the burning of things in the air. Think, what would happen if nitrogen is not present in the air? Nitrogen is an important part of our food items as well. For example, all proteins contain some amount of nitrogen. Proteins are essential for the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide. In a closed room, if there is some material burning, we feel suffocated. Green plants need this carbon dioxide to prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. Activity 3. To show that air always contains dust particles. Method. Make a room completely dark by closing all the doors and windows and pulling down the curtains. Also, stick black chart paper to the windows. Make a small hole in the black chart paper stuck to the window that faces the sun. A thin beam of sunlight enters the darkened room through the small hole. Observation. You can see tiny shining dust particles moving in a zigzag way in the beam of sunlight. Conclusion. This activity shows that air contains dust particles. Activity 4. To show the presence of air in water. Things needed: a beaker, tripod stand, a burner, some water. Method. Take water in a beaker and keep it on a tripod stand. Heat the water slowly by using a burner. Observation. You will see that much before the water begins to boil, tiny bubbles appear on the inner side of the beaker. These bubbles come from the air dissolved in water. Actually, when water is heated, the solubility of air in it decreases. As a result, the air dissolved in water comes out in the form of tiny bubbles after the dissolved gas has been driven off through heating. And when the same water is reheated a short time later, we will not observe bubbles. On further heating, the water itself turns into vapor and finally begins to boil. Activity 5. To show the presence of air in soil. Things needed: a beaker, water, soil. Method. Take some dry garden soil in a beaker. Pour water into the beaker. Observation. You will see bubbles coming out of the soil. Bubbles appear because water pushes the air out of the spaces between the particles of soil. Conclusion. This activity shows that soil contains air. It is trapped within its particles.
So dear children, just now we learned the composition of air, isn't it? So what are the things air contains? Yes, the air contains few gases as well as dust material, isn't it? So which are the gases air contains? Yes, the air contains nitrogen, isn't it? So the first gas is nitrogen. The air containing nitrogen. Then the second gas is oxygen, isn't it? The air contains oxygen. And in lower classes we have learned that the plants release the oxygen and they take off the carbon dioxide from the air, isn't it? Now which is the third gas? Yes, carbon dioxide, isn't it? So let's write carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the third gas. Now which is the fourth thing? Yes, water vapor, isn't it? We feel humidity in our air, isn't it? So that is because of the presence of water vapors. The air contains water vapor as a component. Now, what is the fifth one? Yes, the fifth one is, yes, very good, dust particles. Dust particles. We can call this dust particles as smoke. Dust particles and smoke, isn't it? So these are the components of air. And just now we saw the nitrogen has the most abundant gas in the atmosphere is nitrogen. Nitrogen almost contains 78%. 78% of atmospheric air is containing nitrogen, isn't it? Rest is contained by the oxygen, and oxygen almost has 21%. Is almost 21% of the atmospheric air is oxygen. So these are the components of the air. And in the Digi video, you have seen the activities given in your textbook, which proves the presence of air in water, soil, etc. Isn't it? When we take a beaker and heat it, you can see the air bubbles rising, isn't it? That is because of the presence of air in the water, isn't it? Likewise, when you put the soil inside the water, you can see the release of air bubbles. That is also due to the presence of air inside the soil. So these few experiments which are mentioned, the activities mentioned in your textbook, you just saw now in the Digi video. Now what we are going to learn is about the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. So just now we learned there is components. When we learned about the components of air, we learned there is oxygen and carbon dioxide inside the atmosphere, isn't it? Now this ratio of the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in our atmosphere. So can you tell me how this is maintained? How the ratio of oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in our atmosphere? We have learned in lower classes that the plants, they have the capability, they use the carbon dioxide and they send back the oxygen, isn't it? Green plants. That is how the plants respire, isn't it? And also we have learned the animals, humans, etc. They take the oxygen and give out the carbon dioxide. So it is like a cycle, isn't it? The carbon dioxide is taken by the plants and they release oxygen. The oxygen is taken by the animals and they release the carbon dioxide. So there is a balanced cycle of carbon dioxide and oxygen in our atmosphere. and also we know the burning of the waste materials, the burning of the plastics, etc. They cause the burning of the fuels also. The burning causes the combustion, or the burning causes the release of carbon dioxide to our atmosphere. So this is how the balance of the carbon dioxide and oxygen is kept in our atmosphere. So we will see one more video related to the balance of carbon dioxide and oxygen in our atmosphere. So kindly watch the video carefully.
The balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in nature. The major components of air are oxygen and carbon dioxide. In nature, the amount of gases mostly remains unchanged and balanced. How? Animals inhale oxygen from the air and exhale carbon dioxide, which goes into the air. Plants also use oxygen for respiration. The burning of fuels such as petrol, wood and coal uses oxygen from the air and gives out carbon dioxide, which mixes with the air. Green plants use carbon dioxide from the air for making food by the process of photosynthesis. They give out oxygen in return, which goes into the air. It is clear that animals cannot live without plants. Respiration by living organisms and burning of fuels by humans use the oxygen in the air and release carbon dioxide. On the other hand, plants use carbon dioxide in the air during photosynthesis and release oxygen. In this way, plants and animals help in maintaining the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the air. This shows the interdependence of plants and animals in nature. However, certain activities like air pollution, deforestation and soil erosion upset the balance of gases in nature.
So dear children, that is how the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide maintained in our atmosphere. Now, we also just now seen various human activities, human-made activities like deforestation, air pollution, etc. causes harm to this balanced nature. The deforestation, air pollution, etc. cause increase of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and it destroys this balance. Now dear children, we are reaching to the last portion of this chapter, that is uses of air. So dear children, can you give me few examples where we are using the air? Yes, the air is used for respiration, isn't it? All living organisms respire with the air, isn't it? So that is the first use of air. Now, what is the second use of air? Is for the burning, combustion, isn't it? For the combustion purpose, that is for the burning purpose, air is necessary. Now, for various energies, you may have heard of the wind energy used for the production of electricity, isn't it? In certain countries, they use the wind energy, windmills for the production of electricity. So, for that, wind is used as an energy. That means air is used as energy. Now, in sailing and all, the boats and all sails with the help of the wind, isn't it? So these are the few uses of air.
Air is useful to us in many ways. Its major uses are: oxygen is used by all living organisms for respiration. It is necessary for burning fuels. Moving air, wind, has force. This force helps yachts, sailing boats, parachutes, and gliders to move. Air plays an important role in water cycle. Hot air, being lighter, rises up and carries water vapor high up in the sky to form clouds. Moving air, wind, carries clouds to different places and helps in bringing rain. Moving air, wind, is used to turn the blades of windmills. A windmill is used to draw water from tube wells to run flour mills and generate electricity. Air is needed to play some musical instruments.
So dear children, these are the uses of air, and by this we are concluding this chapter. So in this chapter we have learned about the air, the presence of air in water, soil and atmosphere. We also learned about the components of air, that is nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapors and dust and smoke. Then we learned about how the balance is kept between the oxygen and carbon dioxide in our nature. So dear children, next class we will discuss the next chapter. See you in next class. Thank you.